Sure.
So, Guy, en la lucha,
Hey, brother.
¿cómo estamos?
Pretty well.
Wait, hold on, sorry. Are we doing this in English or Spanish?
In English.
You want to do it in English?
Yes, this
Okay.
is so people can understand us.
Really? Really?
So maybe we should introduce ourselves a little.
Okay.
So you first.
Okay. Hello. I'm Christian, and I'm with,
Edward.
and we're here to take time for you.
Pretty much. You're not going to learn anything from this.
Yes. You just going to realize that you just wasted your time. Again, we were talking about China. One of the things that we know about China is that China doesn't tell us the truth. We can only speculate what we think about China because China doesn't have to answer to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is the biggest difference between the United States economy and the Chinese economy. The United States, we know what's happening because everything has to be disclosure. Everything is actually in the open, pretty much. As much information we can get, we probably can get it. China, everything we get is a speculation, and whatever the government wants us to believe is true. When we know that China, just like India, lies about everything when it comes about their economics and the entire structure.
Probably there is a lot of that, but the idea that we do not know what is happening with China, like we have internet, we have videos, we have people, like you have Americans that have actually went to China, like they live there like 10 years, 20, and they pretty much they are like YouTubers. I don't know if there is YouTube in China, but whatever it is, they are like like a podcaster, influencers.
And yeah, there's a lot of people in China that actually try to tell us the other side, and they go to jail or they disappear. And there's thousands of them, thousands of foreign and Chinese that have tried to tell us what's really happening, and somehow they disappear or they end up in jail.
I don't believe none of that, but I understand that.
It's, you see, and again, why you can't believe what? Because you don't see it? Because it disappeared. You're going to tell me that China is going to let anybody tell them what is actually happening? China has collapsed.
But at what level? You said everything, what is happening in China. So you said that there is thousands of people in jail, right? Let's not argue that part. Let's say it is true, right? But you don't have like spies or just a common person that goes and says, look the park, how it looks.
I'm talking about the common person. Look, just alone on the number of population is right now. Everybody's speculating that China don't even have 1 billion people. Their population is a whole lot less than what they've been telling us.
Okay, that's probably true, right? But
So if there's in any part, if government of China tells us the truth about anything, no, they don't. So if they lie about the healthcare system, if they lie about their population, if they lie about the banks, if they're lying about the construction records, why can we believe? There's nothing to believe about China, nothing. All you see is what they want you to see, but everything else is just a lie, and it has to be a lie because they're not letting you actually look at the records. Nobody can look at the records. China doesn't give you any information. Not about the banks. When was the last time that China actually released the bank statements?
Okay, so there's probably some truth in that, right? I'm not saying that.
So there's not probably. It is.
The thing is, right?
Is it the truth or is it a lie?
No.
There's not in the middle. There's not in the middle.
Oh, there is.
No,
everything is in the middle.
Is China telling us the truth about their finance?
Yes, probably. Yes.
Yes, probably?
Yes.
No, there isn't just probably. It's a yes or no. So you're telling me that yes, everything that China is telling us is the truth. And I say, hell no. And nobody in the right mind will believe that. The Chinese people don't believe it.
Okay.
You know why the Chinese people don't believe it? Because they don't even put the money in the banks.
No, that's a different.
But it's part of the root. It's part of the problem.
No.
So if you're telling me that the Chinese financial statements are right, and they're according to you, China is so great and powerful, Why are people so afraid to put the money in the banks if they're so strong and powerful and everything is working fine?
Okay, so the difference with Americans, right? Americans will get money and put it on the banks, and if they have extra or whatever it is, or they sell a house or whatever,
they trust the government. They trust the system.
They trust the system, right? So a regular Chinese person does not. That's true, right? They will not go and put their life savings on the bank.
But why they don't?
Totally true. They do not trust the system, right? But they will take that money.
But why they don't?
But I'm explaining.
Why?
So that's the problem. Not everything is black and white. So they take the money and they actually put it on real estate.
Man, that's the biggest crap there. Who owns land in China? Nobody. All land in China is owned by the government. You lease land to the government.
Yes, but
it's the biggest rip-off there is. You can buy property, but it's never going to be yours because it belongs to the government. The government leases the property land to companies. The companies build and they sell it to you. But it's never going to be yours. It's a lease. You're buying a lease for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. But the land belongs to the government. It belongs to China, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then what are you talking about?
The problem is that you don't understand. As an American, you don't get that there are other systems, right? And look, you just go and talk with anybody that goes to China to visit, goes to people that live in China. You're saying that China has no, let's say for example, you think China is now the same as 20 years ago or 40 years ago?
No country is the same 20 or 40 years ago.
No, there are.
No
a lot of countries are.
No country is the same. No, stop.
What are you talking
no
about?
country is the same.
France.
No country is the same.
France is the same or worse now than
no,
20 years ago,
no,
40 years ago, or 60 years ago.
No country is the same. No country.
England.
Go by the numbers. No country is the same. Nothing is the same. Everything is different. What I'm trying to tell you is this. All the stuff that is happening in China, at this moment right now, the only thing that people have in China is nothing. Nothing. Because the government still owns everything. Land is government property. They listen it to the government. That's it. You listen it. It's like you're renting. You're not the owner of nothing in China. That's number one. Okay? You don't know what's the structure of China financially because China is lying to us about their financial. Do we think we're broke? China is even broker than us.
I see what you're saying. No, I don't believe none of that.
So this is my thing. Where do China get the money from?
Okay, if you go to New York, right, and then you go to any city in Japan, in China, which one looks better?
It doesn't
Which
matter.
one is cleaner?
It doesn't matter.
It's for you, but to people that actually people does matter. Which one is safer?
No, see, this is the thing. Okay, and let's go back to New York. Right? Let's go to New York. Would you rather rent an apartment for $10,000 a month that looks nice, or would you rather own a house that is beat up but is yours? Mm-hmm. China is rental. China is a show. China is just for the look. But inside China, everything is falling apart.
No. Do they have better schools than us? Do they have better hospitals than us? Do they have better roads than us? They do.
So the structure for hospitals, roads, and schooling, everybody's going to beat the United States for one reason and one reason only, because those sectors are run by unions, and they destroying those industries. China has something that the United States don't have. China don't have human rights. China do whatever they want. China don't have to answer to nobody. Yeah, when you have that type of system, yeah, you can build schools any way you want, whenever you feel like it, breaking every law there is. You don't have to care about the environment. China don't care about the environment. China breaks every damn law about the environment. China is probably one of the worst, between China and India, are the worst countries with environmental record.
You're talking about China like 40 years ago.
No, I'm talking about the China now.
No,
I'm talking about the China now.
Has done insane
Of
improvements
course.
on the environment.
Yes, you're
Insane
right.
improvements on the environment.
Yes, of course, because now they're realizing that the healthcare system is is going so big because they were killing their own people. They're not
So
doing
they
it.
cannot do
They're not doing it. They're
there
not
is
doing
anything that
they-
China is doing just because they love their people.
China is not doing nothing
No, no,
because
no.
they love their people. Nothing.
As America.
No,
Do
China-
Americans do anything because they love their people?
The United States is a business. The United States is run like a business, and as a business, they look. There's one thing I do have to give the United States is that they let you look at the books. They tell you when they're in debt. They tell you when something collapses. We can see it. We are seeing things collapse in the United States. Sadly, we see people lose all their money because that's transparency. We are allowed to ask questions. We are allowed to look into the books.
You're talking about
The China banks collapse and nothing happened to them. They collapse. They collapse. Nothing happened to them.
So they did here. They also collapsed here and nothing happened.
Yeah, it did happen.
The problem is that look, if you will say what you're saying 40 years ago or 30 years ago, right?
It's happening now.
And when China was
it's
a
happening
third world
now.
country,
It's happening now.
and no, brother, China in the China that you have now, right, has improved crazy.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Okay, so the United States, the president of the United States get beat up every day.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason they get beat up every day.
Okay.
Can you do that in China?
That's just
So,
ideology.
no, it's not ideology.
No, that's
The
ideology.
fact is this. The fact is this. When you have transparency and you are allowed to ask questions, when you are actually allowed to look into things, when you are allowed to see when something works or not, then you can say, yeah, this is how it works and this doesn't work.
That's
But
all
you
I
just
don't
looking,
believe- no.
you just walking and seeing, oh, I like the bridge that they built and I like the parks. The parks are nice and clean. What does that mean?
This is what it
What
means.
does that mean?
This is what it means. Look,
Do you know how much China is in debt?
doesn't matter. Look.
Gee, so are you listening to you?
Because you're comparing with America. America owns way more.
No. That's no.
Just check the numbers.
No.
Okay.
Well,
look.
because what the Chinese government told you?
No, because of this. Look, I'm not saying at all, right? And that I want to make sure to make it clear. I'm not saying at all that socialism or communism or whatever ideology people want to talk about it is better than capitalism or democracy. All those things are just ideologies that it means a lot to who are holding power. Okay, but 30 years ago or 40 years ago, right? The United States was as democratic, free, and capitalistic as now, and we have a beautiful country, a country with clean cities, with laws, a beautiful country, right? With freedom of expression, freedom of religion, everything that America was, an amazing, beautiful country, right? And especially in the last 15, 20 years, something bad is happening, right? And especially to the cities. Now, if you go to China, right, they say China is as socialist now as it used to be before, right? But something has happened in the other side to them, right? Where in the matter of, especially the last 20 years, they have built an amazing, beautiful country. They have cleaned the rivers, cleaned their mountains. Remember how Staten Island used to be basically a dump, right? And they went and cleaned it. And now you go there and you wouldn't even think that it was pretty much, New York went through the garbage. Now it's like, they make all of those, how do you call it? It's not fill-ups. Well, whatever it is, basically parks, they have put houses. Now it looks beautiful. You go to Staten Island now, it's beautiful. If you go and visit, right? China kind of has done that. They have cleaned everything. They have open schools, hospitals. And not saying at all that is because they are socialists and we should try that at all. That's not my point. This is my point. Look, when I was young, my dad used to tell me this thing that in my head was like it's totally crazy, that idea. But he used to. So there are these two series. I don't want to name them because I don't want to antagonize nobody. But there were these two series in Ecuador, right? And both of them kind of were the same. And like you will go to one or the other one, they were kind of the same. The two series, right? And my dad always will tell me, "Oh no, don't worry. The series A is going to be an amazing series in a few years, and the series B is going to be crap. It's going to still be crap." And so, okay, how come? Because people from the first series love the series. You want to ask them, they will tell you, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful. The parks are so clean." It's like, but look at that garbage. What are you talking about? No. You just clean it and it's going to be beautiful. And the series, the other series that was like next to it almost, people hate that series. Just hate it, right? And so she always, like, I don't know how many times he told me that thing. Just move to the other series because people from that series love the series. And I came from the series that people hate. Back to maybe 30 years later, everything what he said was true. Now you go to the series number one, you would think that it's almost a European series. Right? It's beautiful, it's clean, people protected it. Now, the other city pretty much got the start. And that's what I'm saying. That is what is happening in the States. That's what is happening in China. United States used to love United States. Americans used to love America. And something is happening now that you want to ask. I have asked many Americans, do you love America? And they like outright say no, or they give me a long list. Or it's not like we love America. America is great.
You're talking about something that has nothing to do with the economic impact of the nations. No, because at the end of the day, if you're building a house and your neighbor is building a house, but you actually do it the right way, which means you got to go get permits, get your licenses, you get a contractor and do all those things, and it might take you 2 or 3 years to build it, and you finally get it done. And the neighbor just goes out there, starts breaking walls, throwing everything with it in which way they want, don't have to answer to anything, and they just build it the way they want it. That neighbor is going to build it in probably 6 months. Mm-hmm. That's what China has. China,
they have built crap.
China, it's falling apart.
Well, one bridge.
The structures are falling apart. The houses are falling. The houses are made out of cardboard. The houses are made out of crap. There's hundreds of videos of people complaining. Houses not finished. Walls, you just touch them and your finger goes right to the walls. It's just a picture. It's just a face. There's cities, empty cities in China because nobody wants to move into those houses. There is actually right now people protesting, which never happened before. People are not even afraid anymore. They're actually going down the streets protesting, knowing that they could either get killed or go to jail. This is happening right now for the first time. And you're talking about China is beautiful? What are you talking about? The entire economy has collapsed.
No, that's just propaganda.
Oh, of course it is. Oh my God. Listen, the only thing that China has is factories. Big factories that they build. All these cities started competing against each other. And they sold a lot of land to factories so they could build factories so they could get revenue. That's why China survived. But guess what? There's no more factories, there's no more growth. Because China decided to switch from regular plastic stuff to now building cars and batteries and solar panels. And they have millions of solar panels sitting there in a dump. They don't even know what to do with them. They sell them so cheap. They sell it for less than what it cost them to build because nobody's buying it.
There is a lot of product.
It's not a lot. That's what it is. There's nothing. It is. There's nothing. It is a lot of it. It's either it is or it's not. There's not in the middle. They're either doing it or they're not doing it.
Reality.
Okay? No. Because they're either doing it. China is has built millions of electric cars.
Okay.
They're sitting there. They're trying to sell it to anybody in the world.
Okay.
They're trying to give it to Brazil. If Brazil say, we don't need that many, they don't even know what to do with it.
Okay.
There's hundreds of thousands of cars just sitting in the parking lot.
Totally
They're just they're rusted garbage now. Garbage, because that technology now is obsolete. The new stuff is coming, nobody's buying the old stuff. Obsolete. China changed the industry to that. Okay? China changed it to that. Okay? And that's what happened. China needs the United States more than we need China. Because China is just a factory. But we're the ones buying. And we finally realizing that we can actually ask them how much we're going to pay. Instead of they telling us how much we got to pay. We could tell China now we're only paying this much for it. Okay? That's what China is looking for, different markets. So they're trying to go to Brazil, they're trying to go to India, they're trying to find anybody that would take the stuff that nobody's taking anymore.
There is another point out.
The structure of China has collapsed. If you ask me, it has collapsed. The day the China government decides, hey, listen, this is a books, this is how much we actually own, and this is a debt, and this is how much we collect, and this is how we're processing everything, then it is. The birth rate collapsed. It's a lie. Nobody actually knows how many people are in China now. Mm-hmm. Nobody has an idea. Yeah, it went from 1.6 to 1.4 to 1.2. No, the last number I heard was 800 million. Now somebody just say, I think it's less than 500 million.
Okay, we don't know.
So people, that's my point. We don't know because they lie. See, that's my whole point. Because they lie so much, therefore we don't know. We don't know what is the economic stand because they lie so much. They lied about everything.
Okay, but what they cannot lie is, right? The problem, the idea that China is just a factory.
It's a factory.
Like
China steals everybody's idea. China has never developed anything on their own. Nothing on their own. All they do is...
You're talking about like 40 years ago.
No, I'm talking about right now. Because the real technology is built anywhere but China.
What are you talking
All China does is steals it, they make it cheaper, find another way to do it, but they don't create anything. China has never created nothing.
Absolutely
nothing. Nothing has come out from China. Nothing. Nothing.
They are the number one.
Who of what?
In trains, for example. Like
China invented the trains?
No.
No, I'm asking you. Because I'm talking about who created the industry, who invented it. They did it.
No.
They just made it better. They just made it better.
Way better though.
But that's my thing. It's a factory because they just grab a copy, they look at it, and they rebuild it. Man, the United States beat China in chips in a mile.
No, brother.
In a mile. China's trying to buy chips from the United States, man.
Brother, America.
Stop doing this to yourself.
No.
The only thing that China controls right now is the freaking raw material. Okay, but when it comes to the part of actually doing it, building it, when it comes to the part of creating, China only copies. They don't create.
Used to, brother.
They're doing it now. Don't get me wrong. They're getting better at it, but they still don't create.
Better in building. Better in technology.
You could copy all day long if you want. It doesn't matter to me who copies. But the European and American mind when it comes to technology is they don't like to copy anybody. They actually rebuild and build and find other ways to do it. China don't. China is not afraid of copying somebody's idea. And yeah, you're right. They could make it faster, cheaper, and probably better, but it's not their original idea.
No, but who cares?
That's my point. You see, that's the pride that you're talking about. You know what? The pride of somebody building is better than the pride of somebody copying. You see, you're talking about China has pride and the people. No, they just copy stuff from everybody. All they do is copy stuff from everybody. They don't build nothing. Once somebody does something, they just make a copy of it. That's all they do.
No, they're used to.
And they're still doing it.
No.
They're still doing it. Right now, they're still copying everybody else's stuff.
Okay, go and check.
Now, don't get me wrong. China has gone long ways. Even for the environment, they are getting better. but they're still one of the worst countries in the world about their about their ecosystem. They're worse. And they're only trying to fix it now because they got so many people either dying from cancer, from all the stuff that they've been putting out there. No, they don't. No, they don't. China stopped recycling because people were getting sick because they had the people going into those mountains of freaking garbage, taking stuff apart. And when they realized that people were getting sick, that's when they said, oh, we can't do that anymore because it's costing us too much money. That's the only time that they did it. The only time that they do something is when they realize, hey, it's costing us too much money. Okay? So don't come out with that they love the country. They don't.
Totally.
No, they don't. If they did love the country, they would build a house that is worth living in. Not a box with a freaking with a cracker freaking wall.
No, there is a lot of that.
There's not a lot of it. That's what they're doing. They're ripping their own people off.
No,
people in China, nobody buys stocks because nobody trusts the banks. They don't put money in the banks. Nobody trusts the bank. They don't say anything because they don't trust the government. Mm-hmm. Okay? So and now the only thing that they were doing was buy the lease land because you cannot buy land in China. You could lease it for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, but it's not going to be yours. Okay? So you can just put your money on land so you can rent it. Okay, and even that they get in that's what people are going now. They're putting all their money on leasing land, and they're not even getting the money worth because they're ripping them off with these constructions. They are garbage, beautiful from the outside, pieces of shit in the inside. That's what China is.
No. I see what you're saying, right? And I'm not discounting everything, but.
There's no but on it. There's no but on it. What are you talking about? Listen, it's yes or it's no. That's it. There's no yeah, they build cars, they look like crap, but they build them. No. Okay, so they build crappy cars. Yes. We all agree on that. You see how that works? You can't take both sides.
Totally they do.
No.
Great cars and crappy cars.
No, they don't.
That happened in the United States the same. You know that, right? In the States.
The difference is the difference here. You see the difference in the United States is yes, and you're right. The United States have built some crappy cars, but it's there. The numbers show up. Hey, nobody's buying this crappy car. Look at the numbers. We only sold 20,000 of them. We built freaking 1 million. We only sold 20. That is my problem with China.
Why they build it?
That is my problem. Hey, because if you don't build it, they're not going to buy it. They're not going to sell it.
No.
Listen, it's an industry. Listen.
This is what happened. Look.
No. Don't tell me this is what's going to happen with the United States.
No, what happened before? Look, in the States, right?
Was subsidized by the government?
Totally. The government went to the big car companies and told them, pretty much, if you build, let's say that a company is building 100,000 cars, right? Regular cars. If you build 15,000 electric ones, we're going to give you a discount in all the cars that you build. So, listen please. So those cars were pretty much free to make, not just were subsidized, but the car companies actually make money in building these cars. Actually make money, but they never actually sold it, they just leased them. Because none of those cars were real. No, what does that mean? I mean, you have the car there, right? But there are cars that you can only drive like 3 hours. And it was like insane. Now, of course, you have the Teslas now that are these amazing cars that you can take them 6-7 hours.
Tesla is an American car.
Totally. And a beautiful car and a real electric car that is probably going to take over the market. I'm talking about before Tesla. In China, you know why China pretty much led
Can you buy a Tesla in China?
Totally. They opened huge factories. That's what I'm going to explain to you. Look. China did exactly the same, but even worse. They went to the car companies. You know that...
So look.
Well, listen, just this part. You know that most cars in the last 40 years have been built in China. Right? You get that. In the United States, it's full of cars built in China. Right? Ford, all the big companies have factories in China, build these cars and send them to the United States. They sell it to Australia. They sell it to everywhere. Right? So China didn't really own none of those properties, right? Like intellectual properties. So they decided to try to do these electric cars. They thought that was the way to go. And they did kind of copy the Americans, and they started heavily subsidizing these cars that were even worse than the Americans. There are like bikes that you can drive them for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes before you have to charge them. Like totally insane. The parts were insanely expensive. The battery is like 2 years. That's why even now, you know, if you want to buy a good electric car, just go and get a second-hand Tesla, because the Teslas, they age beautifully. But everybody has the idea that they are going to be gone in 2 years. So you go and buy a 2-year-old Tesla. It's a beautiful car. The battery is going to last forever.
Tesla is an American car.
Yes, and that's what was my point. When they went to China, right? China, for the first time, told them, we don't want nothing from your company. Just open factories here and start building them. And the reason of them was to try to fix their own electric cars.
Because what they do is copy all these people's ideas.
Totally.
And that's what I've been telling you all this time.
Absolutely.
That's all China does.
No.
That's all they do. It's
They
just a big factory. China is just a factory.
Brother, they have...
China needs the world more than the world needs China.
Probably. I'm not arguing none of those things. But China
is in worse shape than the whole world knows. And they don't want nobody else to know it.
No, it's way better shape.
No.
If tomorrow, look,
no,
if tomorrow the Americans, look, if tomorrow, that was my point, if tomorrow the Americans will be able to see what China has done, right? If you go and ride in a subway in China, right?
You know?
But listen for a second. If you ride in a subway in China, right? And it will get you peace of how things are in America. There is no reason to be like that. There is no reason that the subways in America are pieces of, you know what? There's no reason. They are dirty, people pee on them, everything is horrible, it's dangerous. None of that there is a reason. We are basically lied to this thing, because the people that are in charge of the subways in America give a F of Americans, right? You don't agree with that part or no?
No.
No. Okay, so what do you think?
No, because one of the things you have to understand something is that we had a subway system for over 100 years.
Okay.
Our system is over 100 years old.
The European.
And I'm not talking about just New York City, because there's only two cities in the United States that have actually a subway system, which is Chicago and New York City. Nobody else that have a subway system. Now, the United States, when it was building their connections, did not build a railroad. A railroad is very, very limited, because they decided to build highways. We have highways everywhere. The United States is connected. The entire United States is connected to roads.
Okay.
Because Americans decided, well, I mean, not Americans.
And China is doing the same.
The government decided at that time, hey, listen, we're going to build roads.
Yes.
Okay? When most Europe and Asia build railroads, because they...
No, but you're conflicting now.
No, I'm not conflicting.
Railroads is one thing,
no.
subway is another.
Well, because in the United States of America, there's only two cities that have subway systems, which is New York City and Chicago.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, that's it. DC only has a few stations. Washington, D.C. only has like 3 or 4 stations.
But it's beautiful.
Washington, D.C. only has 3 or 4 stations.
Okay.
Okay? Tell me another city the size of New York City that has a bigger subway system than the one in New York City. There's none.
Paris.
No, oh my God, you're insane.
Paris is beautiful.
You've
been in the subway.
You're not listening.
What?
You're not listening. The New York City subway system is thousands and thousands of lines.
Yes.
Okay, Paris only has a couple of, 40, 20?
Okay.
So you cannot compare that, and it's over 100 years old.
The same, the Paris is crazily old.
No, it's not.
Portugal is crazily old.
Listen.
And it's beautiful. They are beautiful.
You telling me, oh, my town street is so beautiful, it's always clean. Yeah, you only got one. And the other town
So
has
you-
freaking
so-
100
so
roads,
let me
and
make-
you complaining, well, look, they're dirty. Yeah, they have 100 roads, you only got one. You only have to worry about maintaining one little tiny road.
So you think the subway in New York is dirty because it's too big?
And what I'm telling you is that a system like that, no, I'm not saying that it's too big. The subway system is a lot of reasons why it's like that. One, look, they're making a lot of improvement. They're rebuilding a lot of subway stations. But one, yeah, it's old. Okay, it's very hard to do repairs when you minimize and you don't stop the system from moving. It's just like building an airport. You know, it's easy to build an airport when there was no airport before. But it's very hard to build an airport when there's an airport still running and you don't stop the traffic. What's happening in JFK in New York City, not one train, not one plane is being delayed. And they're rebuilding the entire airport day by day with non-stop. You don't do that anywhere else. You know what they do somewhere else? They go and they build a brand new airport somewhere else where they can do it in 2-3 years and nobody's going to bother them. See, that's the difference.
I think you're just full of it.
No, I'm not full of it. So what is easier, tell me? To build a house on a flat land or to build a house where there was already a house in there?
Brother, look.
Without breaking the structure.
They built it in Paris.
Yeah,
in 18 months.
It wasn't a building there before. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's easy to build when there's nothing there. It's easier. There's no problem. Like, building this. Okay, build it. It's hard to build when something is already there.
So how you justify that Paris is crazily clean than New York? Same population and it's way older.
It's nowhere near the size of it. It's nowhere near the size
Paris
of
is
it.
as big as New York.
The subway system.
No. The city. Just the city.
The subway system is not nowhere near it.
Okay.
Let me ask you something. How many people travel in Paris in the subway system?
I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know either, but I know New York City is between 5 and 7 million people every day.
So you think that's there? That's because all these people traveling.
I think that no matter where you go, when you have in a system where you're moving 5 to 7 million people a day, it's going to have problems.
So it's because it's a lot of people. Or it's
No.
because it's all-
Don't get me with that. I already told you the structure is over 100 years old.
Okay, so that's the reason.
It's over 100 years old. Okay. Yeah,
That's part of the reason.
That is part of the reason.
Because there are subways way bigger than New York subways, right? That move way more commuters.
The ones in China are. But how are they?
And they are crazily clean.
How are they? How many are there? Do they even connect the same? You know, I mean, you live in New York City, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know if you take the train or not, but look at the subway system in New York City. I'm not saying that we have the best system in the world, but if you find me another system that is just like it,
yes,
that moves the same number of people, with the same number of stations.
Way more.
No.
They're way bigger subway
No.
systems in China.
No, they're not. No, look, the New York City subway system is over 100 years old.
Okay.
Okay? And it connects all 5 boroughs.
I mean,
4 boroughs. Yeah, it doesn't go to 7. Yeah, it connects 4 boroughs.
There is a subway.
But we have the more stations for the space size. The more stations in any country. Okay, any country.
You're just looking for ice cream.
Any city.
It's like
Any city.
It's because it's too many people.
So we built it. We did something. When I said we, Americans built it, and it worked so great that people like China needed to copy because China copies everything.
Totally, yeah.
They could have done their own thing, but no, they wanted to recreate what the United States did.
Okay.
Hey, they have a subway
system.
system. I think we should have one too. And the only thing that China has in the United States and most cities right now in the United States is that they just getting to be where the United States was 100 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
So you're gonna have no, it's not. You're 100 years behind, man. You're 100 years behind. You're 100 years behind. Okay, everybody's copying what was done here. Okay, that's the reality. And that's why I keep telling you, China, economy collapsed.
Not true.
You can't trust anything from China.
Not true.
The own Chinese, you know who tells you that? The own people that live there. The Chinese people, and I'm not saying this, the Chinese people are telling you, I don't trust my government. I don't trust what they do with my money. I don't trust what they do with my health. I don't do what they do with my future. I don't trust them. That's why my money has to be in my mattress. Because who knows what they're going to do with my money? People work all their lives and they don't even have a retirement package in China. They don't have nothing in China. Nothing. They're working to death for nothing. 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 Nothing.
This is a beautiful country.
It's not. It's not. It's not. When you cannot speak, okay, when you don't have elections, when you cannot choose who is going to represent you, when you cannot just go outside and raise your voice, when you see what they do to the environment, when you see all these things, how can you say you have a beautiful country?
Okay.
How can you have a beautiful country if you cannot even say it? How can you even argue that? The best thing any country can have is freedom. Freedom to the people to decide how they want to do business and how they want to do things. If you don't have that, all you are just a puppet. Somebody's puppet. That's what you are. And that's what the entire system is. That's what it is. It's a big factory that all they want people to do is work when I tell you to work, go home when I ask you to go to work, and that's it. And they're so lucky that they just have the cheapest labor in the world. They have the cheapest labor in the world. That's why they've been getting away with it. While other countries are trying to give their people raises, better health insurances, better pay, giving them benefits, China has been taking them away from them. Absolutely. And now that they're competing with other countries, now that it's been exposed, now they're trying. They should have done this since day one, but they didn't. They didn't. They've been milking the cow until the cow was dry, and now they try to make it better. Yeah, after you already ripped everybody up, after you killed so many people doing breaking every law there was. So don't come here and tell me China is beautiful now, when China did horrible things yesterday, and now they're trying to fix it. That's not how it works, guys. Okay? So you're going to have hey, I have a house here. My house is here for 100 years. And the neighbor just built a house across the street for you yesterday. Of course his house is going to look nice. He just built it yesterday. But guess what? He saw your house. He's like, man, I like that yard. Wow, I like the way they put the windows. And they just copy everybody. They don't have their own ideas. They cannot create. They don't have creation. They don't. All they do is copy. They go and they copy stuff and they make it, and somehow they make it cheaper. That's it. The only thing that China has right now that is holding everybody is that they have these raw materials, that they have freaking like 90% of the world raw materials, and they're getting away with murder for that. And the reason why they have it is because they don't care about the environment. They mining their country insanely, not following any laws. The United States have more minerals, more materials here, but because of the laws and because of the environment, they don't mine here. There's almost no mining in the United States. That's why we have to depend in countries for the mining part. China don't. China is ripping up the country apart for the mineral, for the raw materials. Otherwise, China will have nothing right now.
No, all of that is just propaganda.
Propaganda from who? From the French?
What do you mean?
Propaganda from who?
From the Americans. Look,
of course.
China has thousands of years of history. Thousands of years. You get that part or no?
Yes, of course. They lost every war. They were invaded by every country. But yeah, keep going.
They have an amazing history.
Yes, they lost everything. How many countries invaded China? Just about every freaking body went out there and invaded China. China lost everything war there was. But anyway, keep going.
They have a very well-educated population right now.
Oh, really? Yeah, by force. By force.
They are building hospitals like crazy.
Yeah.
Hospitals like crazy.
China is building a lot of stuff because they don't have to follow anybody's rules. They don't have to care about the environment. They have these guys working 14, 16 hours a day.
Just go and check the big projects in China, the big projects, right? look, the projects are so, probably if you put like the biggest 10 projects.
China is building because otherwise people will realize that they have collapsed. China is allowed to build because they don't have a budget. They have a blank check. They just build, 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 so people can see it. Do they need these things? No, they don't. China right now have millions of homes with nobody living on them. And they're still building and building and building, so people like you could say, look how beautiful it looks. A whole bunch of empty buildings. Yes, you're right, China is building a whole lot of stuff that is useless. Yes.
Okay.
Anything else about China? I mean, we're going to keep talking about China.
We're almost fixing it. We almost fixed it.
There's no such thing as almost. It's either yes or no. You like to be in the middle. There's no middle part. There's no middle. You're either doing it right or you're doing it wrong. That's it. Okay? There's no in the middle. China is a corrupted government. One of the most corrupted governments I've seen.
That's your conclusion.
That's my conclusion. And it's not coming from me. It's coming from the own same China population. Okay? Because guess what? When you think about this, there's only two things a couple of things, but I was just going to address two things that most people would like to have in their life. Number one, the freedom of choice, which China don't have. And number two is security. Okay, security that my hard money that I earn is in a safe place, which China don't have. Okay.
No, that's not the ideology, but okay.
But really? So why people not putting money in the bank?
So look, let's do this. Let's just conclude.
Can people speak freely in China?
Let me tell you what.
Can people speak freely in China?
Let me tell you what.
Can people speak freely in China?
I'm not sure.
That means no. Not sure means no.
Probably not.
No. Okay. So can people put the money in the bank? Can people go and put all the savings in the bank and say, okay, I'll see you guys this week? Can they do that? Are they doing that?
Probably not.
So then what are you talking about?
So you think because of those things there is?
No, I'm saying there's other factors, but those two factors play a big role in society.
Yes,
in society of how we think should be run.
So
with freedom of choice of decision and freedom economically.
Okay.
And China doesn't have either of these two.
But okay, so you don't see no problem, right, in United States that has those things.
United States have a lot of problems.
No, but listen. Those two things that you just said, right? United States has them now. It has them 10 years ago, 20, 30, 40, right? But the whole country has been being destroyed little by little, right? You don't see a problem with that? You don't think we should like that?
Every country, every piece of land in this planet has problems, have issues.
So you think that's what
there's no such thing as a perfect world. There's no such thing as a perfect country, perfect city or anything. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, okay? For the average person, no matter where you go, I think that the two basic things that anybody should have or would like to have is one, the freedom of choice, and number two, the freedom of economic independence. That's what I'm saying. With China, don't have any of those two.
Sure, okay. But you don't see no problem.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we're talking about China. You're telling me that China is beautiful. Yeah. You're telling me that, hey man, China is at the zero of my pancakes. You know? And I'm telling you, hell no. What the hell are you talking about?
Look, I'm pretty sure, right, that America is going to turn and we're going to start fixing things, right? I'm pretty sure about that. But let's say that things just keep going the way that it's going, right? It just, China keeps doing whatever they are doing, we keep doing whatever we are doing, right? In 20 years, in 40 years, you think our kids are going to be better in America? You think Chinese kids are going to be better in China?
I don't know. Because right now things change. Nothing stays the same. There's
if the currency keeps going the way.
As far as I know, in history, nobody has ever ruled forever. Okay, so that's economically, in any system, nobody has ever ruled forever. Okay. So China could collapse. To me, it has collapsed already. China is not what people think it is. That's my opinion. Okay, it's like somebody telling you, yeah, I got money, and then somebody says, oh, let's show me your bank account. Let's go to your bank and actually get in the computer and see how much money you got. No. Just trust me, I got money. That's China. That's what China is. That's what China is.
Well, there is a lot of that.
No, there's not. It's not a lot of that. That's not what it is, man.
No, it's not.
That's what it is.
Look, well, what I see, and that's my whole point, right? If things keep going the way that they are going.
But we're not talking, but see, that's a problem. We're not talking about China in 10, 20, 40 years from now. We're talking about China now.
Now is way better than ever before.
And I'm not saying it's not. I have never
No,
said it's
neither,
not.
though.
I have never said it's not.
No,
but what I'm telling you,
explosion.
but what I'm trying to tell you is that China is a newborn baby right now. China, yeah, it has thousands of years in history. But when it comes to what's happening now with the economy system and what is happening, it's new.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
China wasn't part of the industrial industry.
Mm-hmm.
China was still in diapers when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, China looks better now because they're building stuff now. The United States built this structure over 100 years ago.
It's not that.
See, it
Something
is.
is with America that lost the way. We should be
No,
better.
again, you're talking about the economic part of it.
Yes.
Okay, you're talking about I don't care
You
about
think
how people
America
feel about it.
economically is better now than 20 years ago? That's
Yes.
what you're saying?
No. America is
It's worse,
still
right?
America that was 20, 40, 50 years ago.
It was way more powerful.
So, listen.
Also, it was
Listen,
very powerful.
just to let you know.
I
Okay?
think we should finish though.
Yes, well, just
So-
I just want to finish with this, okay? And then you can answer to this, and then we'll finish because we're gonna have this conversation again about other stuff in China. But look, this is how you know, okay? When the United States speak, everybody listens. When China speaks, everybody listens, and that's it. When other people speak, from France, Italy, even Russia, people be like, yeah, whatever. You see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, the United States and China are pretty much almost the same in a lot of things. Yes, but the only country that we can actually be almost sure about what is really happening is the United States, because China has lied and is still lying about everything in their structure. Everything. They lie about their education, they lie about the healthcare system, they lie about the population, they lie about the factories. Okay? You know, half of the factories in China right now are closed. Mm-hmm. They're not doing no business. Okay? They're lying, so they're lying about, so you have a country that I'm not saying is better, but at least, and I'm not saying that it's 100% true for what they're saying, but you do have some sort of way of check and balance. And then you have another country that just tells you, and he says, hey, take it for what it's worth. Mm-hmm. That's what is happening now.
So, what I see is absolutely America is way better than China. It's the most beautiful country ever existed. Americans are the most amazing people ever existed in history. You just have to talk to them, you just have to see them, they are amazing, okay? I'm not dissing in America. What I'm saying, it comes actually from my love of this country, yeah, okay? That in other countries, as poor as China, can have clean streets, and we don't, maybe we should reconsider this thing. You know, maybe, no, I'm not saying change the system, I'm saying...
Man, anyway, listen, we're going to do that next time. Stay tuned. We're going to continue a conversation about why we should blame everybody but ourselves. That's what it sounds like.